Welcome again to another video, and this time here's what I'm going to share about how to be powerful in life, or what it means to be a person of power. And I'm going to share a little story around this so we actually get it. This morning, just a couple of minutes ago, I spent 1 hour running a live on Instagram. And the reason I was doing that is because I had a thought on Saturday, hey, could be great practice to run a 1 hour live, unprepared, just talking from the moment and practicing my skill as a speaker and teacher. How this is going to be related to the topic of this video, you're going to see in a few seconds, and how it's going to be useful for you. What is power? What is it to be powerful? If we take the definition of power that is shared in most, if not all, the major religions about the ultimate power, then the ultimate power is the power of God, the Atman, whatever you want to relate to as the ultimate source, the ultimate power. And what it says there is that when God, when she or he has a thought, it instantly appears. So whatever God thinks just is. That's the ultimate power, having a thought and it being reality. Now, for us human beings, the closest we can get to being ultimately powerful is to be as close as possible on that distinction of power. And to be as close as possible there is to have as little time as possible between you having an intention, having a thought that you want to see in reality, and you acting upon that thought and realizing that intention. As an example, imagine two types of people. One person is somebody who usually lets everything simmer for a week and tries to analyze the data and make sure that he or she makes the right move. And another person who just acts when they have the thought. So person A and person B, so person A being the waiter and person B being the actor, person A and person B both have the thought of launching a new software product. And person A is like, okay, I want to launch this new software product using AI. Let's make it timely. And person A says, okay, I want to launch this new project. Probably I should speak to some developers, what it would take and how long it would take to do that. Okay, let me find some good developers. And he spends about a week researching developers and who could be a good developer and so forth. Person B, same thought process, thinks I should talk to a developer. So he calls the first person he knows that is a developer, asks the developer like what he knows about that project, and then if he knows other developers that are really, really good that could give him some more perspective. And the developer says, yeah, sure, and gives him some numbers, and he calls those people same day. At the same day, he's through 6 developers and having had 6 hours of conversation with developers. Person A, still going on Google and maybe looking into the network. Where are developers? Do I know some developers? And schedules maybe the first meeting for next week, Friday. Because he still wants some more time to do the proper research, to get it right, to not make a mistake, to ask the right person. So he spends that time there. Person B, the actor, has already talked to 6 people who are developers. He gets a rough estimate of the cost and what it would take. And he, the next day, brings it to his boss who can approve the budget for it and says like, hey, based on 6 developers that I talked to, here's the rough estimate for the product. This is what we would need. This is probably the team that we would need. What else do you need from me to make this a yes or no? And the boss says, okay, yeah, that's great, but I'm missing who in our department has the time for it. I don't see that you asked around because we have some other important projects in the company. And then person B goes around and asks all the people like what the projects are. He gets reports of the projects that they're working on, and same day he gets a meeting with his boss because he asked immediately, hey, can I come back to you in the afternoon with that data, and we discuss this for another 20 minutes. And the boss says, yeah, sure, I have some time in the afternoon, or maybe he is busy and he says in the evening or tomorrow next day. Good. Tomorrow next day, he has all the requested data from the projects that people are working on. He can say like, is this important or not important? And together with his boss, he discussed the project, what it could bring. And he says, okay, but I'm not sure that this project will give us a good return on investment. Please, can you create a report for how that could play out? Give me 3 scenarios, a very conservative, a normal, and a very positive scenario for this project, the software that we could develop. So he goes and he immediately asks the people that can help him with that. He gets no's from a couple, but he doesn't stop, and he asks the next person, the next person, the next person, until he has somebody who can help him. And he gets this report there, day 3. Day 3, that's what person B has done. Day 3, what person A has done is having a list of developers and starting to schedule meetings for next week. Now, if you think about the discrepancy of power being intentions realized between person A and person B, and you're just taking a week, you already can see the enormous difference in productivity and effectiveness that person B will have over person A, right? The actor compared to the waiter, right? Think that for a month. Think that for 2 months. Think that for a year. Like in 1 year, they will be in places that are so distinctly different from what they have accomplished, what they moved, the rate of productivity, the rate of intentions realized will create such a huge discrepancy between the two. And now you play that for 10 years, 20 years, and you can have here somebody who can explain to you the theory about developers and what makes a good developer. And here you have somebody who is actually talking to the developers, probably 20 times as much developers, if that's the way they act, than this person. Maybe they know all theory by the end of it, but they will have practical life experience to a degree that this person will never, ever, ever reach. And that's to be powerful. That's to be powerful. To sum this up, I'm going to read you my favorite definition of power written by Werner Erhard. And it summarizes what it means to be a person of power. Your power is a function of velocity. That is to say, your power is a function of the rate at which you translate intention into reality. Most of us disempower ourselves by finding a way to slow, impede, or make more complex than necessary the process of translating intention into reality. There are 2 factors worth examining in our impairing velocity, in our disempowering ourselves. The first is the domain of reasonableness. When we deal with our intentions or act to realize our intentions from reasonableness, we are in the realm of slow, impede, and complicate. When we are oriented around the story or the narrative, the explanation, the justification, we are oriented around that in which there is no velocity, no power. Results are black and white. In life, one either has results, one's intention realized, or one has the reason, story, explanation, and justification. The person of power does not deal in explanations. This way of being might be termed management by results. Not management for results, but management by results. The person of power manages him or herself by results and creates a space or mood of results in which to interact with others. The other factor to be addressed is time. Now never seems to be the right time to act. The right time is always in the future. Usually this appears in the guise of after I or we do so and so, then it will be the right time to act. Or after so-and-so occurs, then it will be the right time to act. Or when so-and-so occurs, then it will be the right time to act. This, guys, includes gathering all the facts, getting the plan down, figuring out X, getting ready, etc. Since now is the only time you have in reality, and now will never seem to be the right time to act, one may as well act now, even though it isn't the right time. Given that the right time will never come, acting now is at the least powerful, even if you don't get to be right. Most people wait for the decisive moment, whereas people of power are decisive in the moment. Werner Erhard. Have a look. Where in your life are you being slowed down by reasons, trying to get it right, the timing's not right, first I have to, then I will, and where in your life do you experience being powerful? And look at the difference of how you're showing up in each area. My name is Moritz Lembert, and if you want to find out more about this work and to be powerful in life, you can check out the link below and subscribe to my weekly newsletter where I'm sharing some of the distinctions, for example, about power and other things that can help you navigate life with more ease, more fun, and more effectiveness. See you in the next one.